Because it is a long distance, so if you speak little slowly, it will be better to understand. The regular speed of your discussion doesn't make any sense to me because I
Okay,
cannot hear it properly.
okay, ma'am.
So
Yes,
speak
sure.
slowly.
Ji, madam.
Ma'am, we'll all speak slowly.
Yes.
Samir sir, please start.
Yes, yes. So thank you, dear Dr. Amol, and it is a proud privilege to welcome all of you. And I'd like to welcome our President of Maharashtra Academy of Pediatrics, Dr. Sanjay Bhave Pakmode, for his welcome address.
Namaskar. Let me welcome you on the platform of the MAHA IAP. सर्वप्रथम आजच्या ज्या गेस्ट आहेत नजमा हेप्तुल्ला मॅडम, आज या कार्यक्रमाला उपस्थित आहे. त्याच्यामुळं महा आयपीच्या या प्लॅटफॉर्मवर एवढा मोठा व्यक्ती जॉईन होतोय आणि सोबतच जे पॅनलिस्ट आहेत ते सुद्धा खूप मोठी लोक आहेत. आणि आजचा हा विषय सुद्धा खूप आमच्या मॉडरेटरचा अगदी जवळचा विषय.
I cannot understand what you are talking.
ओके मॅडम. ओके मॅडम.
Sir, please
I
talk
welcome
in
you.
English. Yes.
I'll welcome you, Najma
No,
madam.
no. Not English. Your speed is too fast.
Okay, madam. Slow.
Because I'm not sitting with you.
Slow.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
sorry,
Understood.
ma'am.
Understood.
Speak slowly.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Is it a Zoom call?
Okay, madam.
Is
Okay,
it
madam.
Zoom? I can put it on the laptop for you.
I welcome Najma
Yes.
madam on this platform of Maharashtra IAP. We are today very lucky.
Good. Now I can
you as
understand.
a special guest on this Maha IAP platform with this incredible panel with the presence of Dr. Professor Swati Bhave madam and other panelists. Now today's topic is specially chosen for the lady pediatricians, and before this we have completed the two topics of very important topics from the practicing pediatricians. So after getting the good response from those two topics, we are going today for the third episode of this Smart Pediatrician with Dr. Samir Dalwai in association with the MAHA IAP. And today's topic is, do ladies pediatricians get a level playing field, breaking barriers and celebrating careers? Now, this is a very important topic, and I think our moderator, Dr. Samir Dalwai, was used to talk with me always on this particular topic. Because he got such an incredible panel, we today thought of arranging this particular episode on this date, and with the presence of Madam Najma Heptulla. Madam has already worked with Mr. Modi in his first in the first tenure. Madam was a union minister at that time. So I welcome you on this platform, madam, of this Maharashtra IAP. And I also welcome all the incredible panel with presence of Dr. Professor Swati Bhave, madam, Rashna Das, Jolie, madam, Vasudha Rao, and with the baby, the Siri, madam. I also welcome all the office bearers of CIAP, our secretary, dynamic secretary Amol, and all other office bearers of MAHA IAP, and all the attendees, especially the lady pediatricians who are joining in the large number today to understand from all these stalwarts, in spite of all the sacrifices, what they have done the best in their life. And they are the role model people for us because they have achieved all the things in their life in spite of their family commitment, social commitment, research, and all other engagements, professional engagements. So with this, I hand over mic to Samir.
Thank you so much, dear Dr. Sanjay, and a warm welcome, namaskar, to everybody today on this third episode of Smart Pediatrician on MAHA IAP platform. I have the pleasure of introducing our chief guest today, none other than Honorable Dr. Najma Heptulla, ma'am. Let me begin by saying she is a PhD in zoology, and we all know her. I will keep the introductions very brief because she has been the ex-governor of Manipur. She has been the union minister with the first term of Mr. Modi's government, as well as, incredibly, she has been the chairperson of the International Parliamentary Association, as well as for 17 long years, she held this record of deputy chairperson of Rajya Sabha. And I have grown up hearing her stories about how she would manage both the opposition and the treasury benches, being fair and just to both those seats. It is an institution and a learning that Madam is an institution in herself. The other part also is that Madam's eldest daughter is a pediatrician, a pediatric endocrinologist, Dr. Rubina, who has studied from India and is abroad now. So Madam has a special love and affection for us. Just with this short introduction, Madam, we'd like to welcome you and say how grateful we are for your kind presence, Dr. Heptulla, ma'am. So thank you so much for joining.
Well,
We
I'm
have-
very happy to join you. And as a mother of a doctor daughter, and she is a pediatric endocrinologist, Dr. Rubina, I knew how difficult it is, especially for women who are married with children, to continue the practice. Many a time when we were in a theater watching a movie or somewhere, and the emergency phone came and she had to leave. And when her children were small, it was a very difficult task for her to manage her career as well as her home and children. So I'm speaking from the point of view of women, working women. If you have read my book, you would know how I was working and focusing the problems of working women and how they need the support of men. There is a saying, behind a successful man, there is a woman. But I feel behind a successful woman, there are a couple of men, the father or the brother or especially the husband and children, because they all have to be supportive for her to be successful.
Absolutely.
Especially a profession like medical, where emergency is unforeseen. So,
Yes.
if you have not read my book, kindly read In Pursuit of Democracy beyond party line. It is available on
Amazon. Amazon. I will show that in a few
Amazon.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I will show that
Yeah.
in a few minutes. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Thank you so much for your opening remarks, ma'am. As always, the deputy chairperson and the minister has the first word. So thank you so much. I'm quickly going to introduce our other panelists who are known to everybody. Dr. Swati Bhave, ma'am, is a mentor to all of us, all of Indian pediatricians, past president of Indian Academy of Pediatrics. She is an adolescent pediatrician, head of adolescent clinic, Jahangir Hospital, Pune. He is the person who has spearheaded this struggle, I would say, for giving the level playing field for lady pediatricians in IAP. And she is the founder of the adolescent medicine and so many other things. We'll hear her quickly. I move on to a round of applause for Swati ma'am to be here in spite of her health challenges, because this topic, she said she could not stay away. So thank you so much. I'd also like to welcome Dr. Rashna Das. Madam, are you there? I am not able to see. Rashna ma'am, are you there? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Rashna ma'am, are you there?
Yeah, she's on the screen, Samir.
Right. One moment. I don't know why I'm not able to see her. One moment. Yeah, right. So there's Dr. Rashna Das, and very nice, very happy to have you here, senior pediatrician, Dr. Rashna Das, Hazarika from Guwahati, Assam, and a mentor to many young women pediatricians. Welcome, Dr. Rashna. I'm also my friend, Dr. Prameela Joji. Please welcome her. She's senior consultant, clinical director. Again, Najma madam, you would know that she's pediatric emergency and critical care medical superintendent, KIMS healthcare, so managing the emergency as well as the family. And finally, Dr. Siri, who is the youngest member, a 29-year-old lady pediatrician who has got married and now has a small baby she was just carrying in her arms a few minutes back. So welcome again to this panel. We are all going to discuss about the challenges lady pediatricians feel. And the reason is, when I was in school, I always came second in my class. Always a lady came first, a girl came first. I was happy with it, no problem. But I realized that till university level, even the gold medalists are the women colleagues. But unfortunately, after you come out to practice and you come out of academics, somehow the situation changes in a way, and our colleagues are often left a little out of the playing field. So the question today, ladies and gentlemen, we are not going to cry or lament. We are only going to think at, are there any prejudices that the men are putting in the way of the lady pediatricians? Because when a brilliant, talented person, man or woman, exits the system, it is not only harmful to them, it's harmful to the country because there is a loss of talent. So we'll begin with our youngest member, 29-year-old Dr. Siri Hoovinahole from Tumkur, Karnataka. At 29, Dr. Siri, you are navigating two demanding roles. You are a new mother and a new pediatrician. And what has been the hardest part about balancing both, and what has helped you cope?
So thank you for giving me this opportunity, and thank you for addressing such an important topic. The hardest part is actually what you saw just a few minutes back. It's having to navigate both profession and a baby or a family. So it comes at an emotional cost. The major challenge has been to address the fact that it is just not challenging for me, it is challenging for my son as well. It is emotionally challenging for him to address my absence, and how he will cope with that if I will be disturbing his secure attachment by going for my career. That has been the hardest part to be true. Then the rest about physical exhaustion, about managing time, about delegating chores, all of these comes, but the main challenge has been the emotional one. And how I cope with it, I am barely coping with it, as you can see. And I am hoping the many more senior lady pediatricians will give me more insight as to how I can cope with it. But some amount of planning and scheduling will work to some extent, and mainly family support, having my mother or my husband taking care of him and delegating chores to them has worked for me. That has been my coping strategies for now, sir.
Thank you so much. But just a small correction. It's not only the lady pediatricians who should be supporting you, it's all the male, all your colleagues who should be supporting you. And I'll go directly to Dr. Swati Bhave, madam. Madam, you've been through this stage many years back. What would you advise colleagues, younger colleagues like Dr. Siri all across India who are watching?
Siri, I'm 73 years old, And I went through this when I was 21 and 26, but I can still totally empathize with you. And we talk of the era of gender equality, equity, but a woman, as long as there is no scientific invention where you have an artificial uterus and a baby will be born through artificial uterus, we are going to bear the brunt and the main role of child rearing. And we talk of first 1,000 days. And you very rightly said the emotional connection. So pregnancy, lactation, and the early development, it is really emotionally very hard to be away from your baby. And there the role definitely comes of the family support. And as Madam Najma said, that behind every woman and every child bearing, there are mother-in-laws, mothers, family members, husband, grandfathers, grandmothers. So as they say, it takes a whole village to rear a child in Africa. So a woman who's fortunate to have a very close family, who's very understanding of her professional ambitions, who also understands the need of her doing the mother's role as well as not feeling guilty of going for her profession. I think the family support, of course, the spouse first and the rest of the family members, a woman who's fortunate to have this family support can balance the role of profession and a mother. But unfortunately, today, because I have mentored many, many IAP women in the last 40 years of my IAP, everybody does not have this family support. Some may be staying in a very nuclear family when both the couples are working. Leaving a child in a creche is a very heartbreaking thing, but that is what you have to do. So, women who don't have so much family support, or some women who are not that resilient to undergo both the roles, they find it emotionally very challenging. That do I become a mother first or do I do my profession first? And very often a woman chooses motherhood over profession, and she lags behind because she finds that is more important at present. And so there are many, many women who are very brilliant, who are excellent in their career, but because they choose motherhood or they choose family responsibilities over their profession, they lag behind. But one thing I'll tell you, because I also lagged behind in the first 3 years of my marriage and baby, because I gave my motherhood the main preference. But if you have the merit, if you have the resilience, if you have support after that, you can make up for the lost years. So I think that women who are very young and with a child don't feel that I'll be losing a lot of my opportunities if I give time to my child, because time giving to a child is wonderful and you will always make up. Merit always will last. And if you're hardworking and you're in merit, you may lose some years, yes, but you can still make up, not to the extent which you wanted, not maybe 100% or 10 out of 10, but out of 7 out of 10 scale, you can certainly achieve your profession. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, madam. I think that was very succinct. Again, I'm going to jump and I apologize for having missed introducing somebody who's a very dear friend of mine, has been my student once, and now my colleague, Dr. Vasudha Rao from Bangalore. Dr. Vasudha Rao was doing her MD Pediatrics at JJ Hospital, Mumbai, where I was fortunate enough to know her, and she was working with us in the center. And then she went abroad to the Great Ormond Street Hospital in London, across the pond, and as they say, and she did her fellowship in pediatric hemato-oncology, and she's a pediatric hemato-oncologist at the Rainbow Children's Hospital, Bangalore, and doing great work in terms of bone marrows and so many bone marrow transplant and so many other things. But Vasudha is also a young mother of not just one, but two children. She has twins. So she has done her fellowship. So I want to come to you, Vasudha, and ask you, how did you decide to finish your fellowship first, then marriage, or first marriage, then fellowship, and then the kids? And now, how are you managing all of this? Dr. Vasudha Rao, Bangalore.
Thank you so much, Dr. Samir, to have me on this esteemed panel. So it was not planned, as doctors, like I think
The
Dr.
fellowship,
also,
the marriage, or the pregnancy?
Neither of them, all of them actually. Yeah. So the fellowship was not planned. Actually, my husband wanted to go to London to pursue his education, and I was just planning to tag along. But it so happened, unfortunately, that he didn't get to go because of some rules and regulations, and I got through. And actually had to do a long distance for about 2 years, which was completely unexpected. But at that point in time, I chose my career, which I don't know is right or wrong. I mean, it is a lot of confusion there. But after coming back again, there were job prospects were really difficult. I'm coming to that because, like Swati Bhave ma'am said, all of us want to prioritize being a mother and our pregnancy, and we see a lot of late pregnancies in women and all of that. But in a metropolitan city like Bangalore, it is really difficult for a specialist, for a subspecialist. Even if you go on a maternity leave, the brutal truth is that you know when you come back, you might not have that job for you. So it is really difficult. But I was fortunate enough to have a great job at Rainbow Children's Hospital, where I am placed right now, and great support from my colleagues.
And family? Support from
Family,
family?
definitely. After the children, the family support is what has got me going. So I rejoined work really early. I rejoined part-time at 4 months when my children were 4 months, and full-time at 6 to 7 months. So there's always a doubt that creeps in, that is it ideal? Am I leaving my children behind? But I'm someone who really likes to work, and a happy mother raises happy children. That's what I believe.
Perfect.
So
I think that's perfect.
Yeah. So
Happy
that's the
mother.
reason what kept me going, and great support from my family as well, and nannies, who are extremely important.
Absolutely important. Very well said. Dr. Rashna Das, a little different situation. You wanted to pursue super specialization, but you couldn't. How did you make peace with that decision, and what path did you choose instead?
Very interesting, very good question. Actually, at that point of time, I was doing my senior residency at PGI, and I just missed a super specialization in pediatric in gastroenterology by, I think, 0.1 percentile. And then when I thought I'll give it the next time, I already got pregnant, and then the child became the priority. So later on, one after another, the second child came, and then, the super specialization took a backseat. But one thing which one of my mentors, Professor Surjit Singh, he told me that when you do super specialization, you somehow become very telescopic in view. You view only your super specialization, but the population also needs a generalist. So I think that is what changed my view. And I am much more happier now because I get to, see patients with a wider perspective. I treat a lot of diseases, and I feel that I have done justice to whatever I have learned at my institution. So that is how I made peace, and I'm very happy wherever I am today.
Samir,
Absolutely. So,
Rashna has demonstrated that in life, happiness is not getting what you want, but happiness lies in finding happiness in what you have. And I think Rashna has showed that very nicely, because then you don't feel you have sacrificed or you have compromised or you have got a shortchanged deal. You are happy with what you have chosen. I think, Rashna, you have given a very good example of being happy with what you have got and being successful.
Thank you. And I think the
well said.
children became a priority because I also remember the late Professor Lata Kumar, who was our head, and she had said a very important thing when we were doing post-graduation under her, and she was one of my thesis co-guide. So she told us that you will become a perfect pediatrician only if you become a parent. And I think that is so true. Once you become a parent, the entire perspective changes on how you look at your patients, how you deal with them, the empathy increases. And I think as soon as I had my children, I knew that, they were priority first. The career can take, can be built later on also. And that is what happened with me, because I left a very lucrative job of the head of the department at the Central Institute because I wanted my kids to have a better education. I'm very happy now. Both of my sons are doing very well. Of course, everything with the support of the man in the house.
Sure.
Very thankful.
Absolutely. One need not have FOMO, fear of missing out on career, because you will eventually catch up. I'm going to come to Dr. Prameela Joji now with a very important question, because she's been somebody in pediatric emergency and critical care, and like Dr. Najma ma'am said earlier, managing emergencies. So how did you manage this difficult part of your career as a practitioner, caregiver, leader in the hospital, at the same time managing your family, your two daughters? And after that, I'm going to come to Dr. Swati Bhave and Dr. Najma Heptulla for the important question of mother-in-law, because both of you are not just mothers but also mother-in-laws. So how do you advise our younger colleagues to set up a good relationship with the mother-in-law? But before that, Prameela.
Yeah, nice question, Samir. Thank you for that. See, as a lady, you go through in your profession as well as personally, you go through different stages. I remember what a physician from Kerala, Dr. Joy Philip, he used to tell, it's a metamorphosis. It's like a life cycle of a butterfly. There's an egg, larva, pupa, and then the butterfly. So as a student, you are an egg, like egg, and that phase you're okay. Your parents are there supporting you. PG time is the worst. When I saw Siri with the kid, my first child was during my house urgency and the second during PG time. So you can imagine how difficult it was. So the support is very important. Your parents, your in-laws, your spouse, and the family is very important. And more important is your colleagues also. You can tide over the entire situation if you have a very well-balanced situation where both of. But whatever said and done, our cultural norms really want a lady to be the primary caregiver at home. And as Chetanwal says, in India, you don't marry a man, you marry the entire family. So a lot of things are there. So being in intensive care and critical care, the initial years when I initially wanted to do my my PG, I want to do my fellowship in Kanji Kamodi. I went there, then I told Janini madam, I won't be able to do it. My second child, she was small, so I came back. So in between, I used to regret that, but I could. So you make a good ICU and make it to the national level. That was one thing. But lot of sacrifices there. Like Swati ma'am, you can imagine me going to the duty some days with both my kids. I'll put them in the launch, then attend my duty, come back in the morning with them. Those days were really tough. But I have good colleagues.
Prameela, sorry to interrupt you. Did you find your male colleagues supporting you in this?
Yeah, I never had an issue. No, I in my PG time also, when I was pregnant also, I still remember my friend Abraham and all, they used to take duties for me. Maybe because, and I never had any issue in SAT. Even I always remember my professor, Dr. Geeta. She was my thesis guide. She used to sit with me. She used to buy puffs and fruity for me and help me. That is, I was into 8 months of my pregnancy. So I was a little bit lucky all those time, though I had a tough time. So what I want to tell the younger generation is, it is difficult actually. It is difficult. Actually, it is difficult, especially unpredictable work hours. You have an emergency, you have to go back. That time your parent may be sick, your child may be sick, but you have to manage both. It is not an easy job, but you have to tide over it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm going to come to Dr. Najma Heptulla, ma'am, on two issues, ma'am, and you must have counseled thousands of ladies as well. You've been from a great family background, from Maulana Abul Kalam's family, a huge big family, married into a huge big family, and you were the budding politician known across the country. How did you manage your equation with your family so that it actually helped in your profession as well? Can you guide our people?
You see, I was listening to the whole conversation. For a working woman, it is very, very challenging to manage the home. Generally, I have noticed that men expect his wife to clean, to cook, to take care of the children. Apart from her work, when she comes back home and he comes back home from his job, he takes his shoes off, throws his socks and coat somewhere and expect a cup of hot tea. But he doesn't realize that his wife was also working, that she needed support. And I was very clear when I was talking to the people that if you have a working wife, then there should be an understanding between the roles of husband and wife. He should also take some responsibility of the household, as the wife also is working and earning and going out of the house. So this thing the man should understand, and man's family should understand. In our country, it is a joint family system. Abroad, it is between a husband and wife. And in a joint family system, the mother-in-law, the sister-in-law, the father-in-law, too many in-laws, a woman has to deal. So I have always told the people that everybody should play a role and be supportive to a working women. All professions are demanding, but a medical profession is very demanding because of the emergencies that can occur and you cannot help. When I was also working, I was teaching in the, before I got married, I was teaching. And when I got married, I did not work till my kids were small. I joined active politics or accepted the seat in the parliament only when my children was little bigger. But my husband was extremely supportive. And as I was had to live in Delhi for the parliament, it was my husband who took care of the children. Of course, in India we get help, but it is the father, in the absence of the mother, takes the responsibility of both the roles.
True.
So it is the understanding for men to accommodate a working woman. I remember I was talking to Indira Gandhi once, and she said, your children are your first responsibility because you have brought them in this world and you have to give time to them. The work can delay, but the first responsibility is towards your children. And that was a motto that I always had in my life, and I told others also.
True. Absolutely.
When I joined international politics, I not only had to be away from home, but I had to travel other countries, almost all over the world. And in this absence, it was my husband who took care of my children. I was not living with my in-laws. I was living alone with my husband, and of course, in Bombay, we could get the help, but it was necessary to have the men to support.
Absolutely.
The men in producing a child, both men and women play a role. So why it is expected that only a woman should bring up the child? Why don't we think that a father also has some responsibility
To play.
in bringing up the children? That makes a healthy relation and produce a better children in their future life.
Absolutely.
If both of them work together. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much. And it's actually transgenerational because that's what the children will see when they grow up. So thank you so much, ma'am. Dr. Bhave, ma'am, I'd just like to quickly ask you, what happens if the husband or the in-laws are not that supportive? And it might be so, unfortunately, in some cases. How do you tell our colleagues to set up that equation where they can get their spouse and their in-laws to be supportive? And if they are not supportive, what can they do?
Samir, before I answer this tricky question, let me have some other tips. One is that I always advise all women कि nowadays please have planned parenthood because reproduction should be the choice of the mother. And instead of getting a baby just unexpected, plan the pregnancy and plan the baby at a time when it least damages your career. In the sense that if you marry young, I married at 21. So I waited 5 years to have my first baby and I took a complete year off to look after my child. But if you marry late and you're already plus 30, then people talk of your biological clock ticking, and then you have to have a child during your post graduation. But generally, I feel if you have a planned parenthood and a woman can plan ki these are the 2 years where I can sacrifice my career, but let the career take a back seat and look after my child totally, I think she will not be in conflict. Then she'll be able to do her career also and also look after the baby. So that was a very important aspect of planned parenthood. Second, as Madam Najma said, I was very fortunate in having a husband and 2 sons who were ideal men who were supportive. When I contested as General Secretary and my presidentship, my husband and my son sat together and said, Mom, you don't have to be a superwoman. You have looked after us totally. Now we are self sufficient. Now it is time for you to take care of yourself and your ambition. And when I was fighting the elections of General Secretary, President elect, President, my 3 men in the family took care of my home. They were, of course, little more grown up. They were teenage adults and boys. But for those 3 years, they told me, you don't have to be a mom. You have been enough of a super mom. And I think, as Poonam Bhatia put, our generation was raised to be super women. We had to do everything. We had to be a good mom, a good wife, a good daughter-in-law, a good mother, everything. And if we delegated responsibility, it was taken that she's a lazy woman, she's an irresponsible woman, घर का काम नहीं करना चाहती है, बच्चों को देखना नहीं चाहती है. So now I tell opposite. Don't be a superwoman. Whatever you can delegate, delegate. So whatever time you have quality time with your children as a mother, with your husband as a wife, and your family. So yes, you should know cooking, but there's no need to do daily cooking when you get a cook. You don't have to clean your house daily. And once a woman comes out of that mindset, Samir, that I'm not a
Correct.
superwoman, and at this stage of my life, this is my priority. Like in 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, woman has to change priorities. She cannot be the same everywhere. So once she understands that, she will not come under pressure of the society and the family. She has to be strong. This is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. And please support me, or it doesn't matter. I will still go down my path. Now the tricky question. Now,
Mother-in-law.
so I always,
Mother-in-law.
yeah. So what happens is, last 20 years, I'm doing a lot of young adult counseling. That is 20 to 35. And I'm doing premarital counseling. I'm doing divorce counseling. And I'm doing all counselings of marital relationships. And I always tell them that when you come out from your mother's home, mother has pampered you. She has taken you almost like a son. You are pampered every minute, everything mother does for you. Then you come in the mother-in-law's house. And you suddenly expect the mother-in-law to replace your mother and pamper you equally and give you a lot of support and be the same. And if she's not, then you complain to your husband and you start fighting with her. What you have to understand that this is a new relationship. Like
Correct.
example, you
Well
join
said.
a new company or a new hospital, you don't expect the colleagues and the boss immediately to start pampering you. You have to prove your worth. You have to establish relationships. You have to get popular amongst your colleagues. You have to impress your boss with your work. So give time for the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law relation to develop. Work on it. And remember, your mother and your husband have been together for 30, 35 years. They have a very close bond. You have just come into that life. And you can't break that 35-year of bond and expect your husband to immediately replace you with the mother. So go very slow. Your husband is still loving you. He's still your husband. But don't make him choose between you and your mother. And if you can very nicely establish this loving relationship with your mother-in-law, 90% of mother-in-laws today are ready to accept the daughter-in-law as
Correct.
their daughter. But it doesn't come overnight. You have to work for it. I'm sure in the first 5 years of marriage, if you put in enough love into the new family you have gone on, the family will love you and you'll really become the daughter of the family. So I think it just depends, because two women, when they get together, I was very close to my mother-in-law. Fortunately, I'm very close to both my daughter-in-laws, but it's a bilateral relationship. It has to be nurtured. You have to work on it. And women should never fight with each other. They should be strength for each other. And the two women team, a mother and daughter in team, it is far stronger than any man's support. So whether it's a mother or a mother-in-law, make a team with your mother. Forget the in-law. Just make a team with the woman of the house,
Wow.
work together, and you'll have dividends. And if you're not
Lovely.
fighting with your mother-in-law, your husband will love you more, obviously, because he's not getting sandwiched between the mother and the wife, whom really wants to love equally. Okay.
Very well said, madam. I think remove the in-law part of it and stick to the mom. And that's going to have amazing, amazing, very nicely said. Dr. Siri, I'm going to come to you quickly. Now you're in the, yes, Madam Heptulla, ma'am. Najma, ma'am.
You know, this word in English, in-law, is very wrong. I remember a movie which I'd seen in which a very famous senior actor had said, कानून की बेटी, daughter-in-law. ये क्या है? हमारे यहाँ बेटी बेटी होती है, बहू भी बेटी होती है, सास भी माँ होती है. ये इन-लॉ जो अंग्रेजी से आया है, that is a very wrong word. So we should not use this word. I had very good relations with my family, but I was living alone. We were living upstairs, downstairs. I even had my husband's grandmother. So I used to cook the food of her choice and send it up for her so that she can enjoy it. She was very old. So things that she will like or she can digest, I used to do that. So नए घर में आती है लड़की. She comes to a new house. His in-laws should also accept that it takes some time, as the previous speaker said, to adjust to new circumstances. In my case, not only the town was different, but I didn't know the language. I knew English, Urdu, Hindi, but not Gujarati. And my husband's family spoke Gujarati. So I had to learn the language. I didn't know Marathi. The servants were speaking Marathi. And my in-laws were understanding Marathi. So I had to learn Marathi. It takes some time. I'll tell you a joke which happened with me. My mother-in-law used to tell the cook, chai no pani muki do. Matlab, put the water on fire for tea. Baby a school muki do. That take the baby to the school. And I used to wonder, what is this word muki do? Every time my mother-in-law is using. So I wrote it down and I asked my husband, what is the meaning of muki do? Because mummy is using it to send the girl to the school to keep the water for tea. What is the meaning of it? So he explained to me, Mukido means Ragdo. So it takes some time. If there are marriages which are across the region, language, culture, or community.
Even more difficult.
And it is always accepted or expected that a woman should learn. Why not? There should be a partnership between men and women in every aspect of life.
Absolutely.
Then a marriage
only then
becomes successful, and the children who are born are normal children.
True.
They understand if the husband and wife do not argue every time or fight on issues. So it is always give and take.
Absolutely.
In life.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
This is the experience of my entire life. Working nationally, internationally, and in very challenging jobs.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Dr. Siri, I'm going to come to a very practical question. Now, with this kind of break because of the maternity situation, do you think IAP or your colleagues or the medical colleges, whatever, what role are they playing in keeping you updated? Or let me ask you the other way around. Do you feel that you're missing out on being in touch with your subject? And then I'll come to Dr. Vasudha, Dr. Prameela, Dr. Rashna. How IAP as an organization can look at supporting our colleagues during their maternity period so they don't feel that they have missed out in this part about academics and clinical work. Siri, quickly from you.
Sir, actually, IAP has been a great support throughout this time, and it has. I just messaged you, I think, randomly, and you replied to me. And since then, I've had so much support from you, and I've also had a few conversations with Atanu Batra sir, and he also has been giving me a lot of opportunities. During the initial years of motherhood, I feel like it's not just the time; it's the time as per a schedule. So you do have time when you put your baby to sleep, and when somebody else is handling your child. So during that time, you can utilize it very well, in fact, to update ourselves. I feel like I've been learning more about pediatrics after I've become a mother than before. I feel like being a mother makes you a better pediatrician, and being a pediatrician makes you a better mother. You sort of
Lovely.
start viewing the entire family picture, and you understand the family dynamics, and you have more empathy towards your patient, especially the mothers, because I would always see the child because I was a pediatrician, but now I see the mother and the son, or mother and the child, as a
True.
dyad. So that has really helped, and I think I feel like this is the best on-field fellowship I could do since I had a
Wow.
child. So it has really helped me.
Very, very nice. Very well said. Dr. Vasudha, you are a super specialist. Okay. Do you think if you had stayed away for 1 year, would you feel that the specialty has moved so far away that you can't catch up with it? I really wanted to answer this honestly.
So honestly, I think yes, because in every specialty, there's so much of advances going on
Yeah,
every single day that you really feel completely out of touch. I feel in this aspect, one thing that could really help is mentorship. There are, like, we heard such fantastic women talking about their experience. They have such rich experience. So it really helps if you have a mentor, you're paired with a mentor in your field or in your subspecialty, which can really help. The other thing that can help is CMEs, or a bundle of CMEs kind of update you when you're going back to work. I mean, I know it'll have to be customized, or maybe yearly or biannually, something like that. That could probably really help.
absolutely. I think IAP, and that's what I would try to push. I would like to should develop a special package or some kind of academics to keep a lady during her pregnancy and maternity updated at home. There should be specific programs designed for this. Dr. Prameela, you've been such an academician, and then I'll come to Dr. Rashna about it. What do you think specifically can the organization do to keep the mother updated and not lose her confidence?
Yeah, that's very important. Like Siri said, all this, when you're a young mother, you feel like you are outdated because a lot of updates, you are not participating in the CMEs. You are in the middle of the PG, your course is getting extended. First and foremost, an institutional level and organizational level, the maternity leaves. In the government sector, it is 6 months, and some IT, they give almost 1 year. So being a pediatrician, the most important thing is taking care of your own child. That's very, very important. So every pediatrician should actually get time to take care of your child. Remember my colleague Neetu, she, being a private institution, she said, no, I'll take care of my child. She almost took leave for 8 months. So if you break your career also, it's okay. For me, like I did my PG little late. I had 2 kids, and during the second kid, it's okay. But later you can, do well and come up in your career. Career is there always. But I think it's always better to have children early. That's my norm. In Kerala, it's like that. You get married. My
Absolutely.
first kid was in 24. So what you give to them, you get back. Now I am 53. I'm getting it back from my daughter. They are carrying me a lot now. And
Wow.
Samir knows my daughters. So elder one is 28. And she's carrying me like anything. So that part, I don't know, I'm little different thinking. If you break your career also, it's okay. Your children are your first priority. Your career will follow you if you do good.
Absolutely. Dr. Rashna ma'am, do you think we can do something in terms of maternity pediatrics, in terms of academics?
Yeah, I think that is a very important part of the continuing medical education, because I remember when I had my first child and I was on full maternity leave, I somehow, used to get jitters that will I remember whatever I read and practiced. And then I had my seniors like Professor Jayashree Mulidharan and Amita Trehan. They were assistant professors that time, and they used to say, forget it, you take care of your baby. Whatever is there in your brain is just going to come back, as soon as you start seeing patients again. And it really happened.
Yeah.
So it is not, you are just replacing a part of your brain, for temporarily with something else for your kid. So that thing is always there. Whatever knowledge you have, practical experience you have is going to help you when you again rejoin practice. But I think IAP is already doing a lot of programs, CMEs. In fact, nowadays we don't have time to attend all programs. But if it's a young pediatrician who has got into a maternity leave, then probably it would be a good idea to have some kind of CME activities which focus on, because we think that as pediatricians, we know everything about pediatrics as soon as we pass out, but that's not true. In fact, the nuances of bringing up a child, even in fact, simple issues like breastfeeding, complementary feeding, we don't actually read everything about it. So I think those little things, starting from taking care of yourself, your nutrition, your physical activity, then taking care of breastfeeding in your child, how do you manage when you go for work, and then about the complementary feeding. I think those things will come first, and then later on, I think child development part is very, very important.
Very important.
Very
Absolutely.
important, because we as pediatricians are learning so many new things now regarding child development, and with the, added problems of autism, ADHD, we
Yeah.
don't get to read everything during our 3 years of residency. So I think these small topics, and they should not be very extensive, because if you make a mother, come away from her child for more than an hour, it's going to be, less
True.
effective. So maybe small snippets, maybe half an hour program with small topics is going to be very, very useful for these upcoming pediatricians who are becoming parents. Not only the women, I think even the men who are become fathers, they also should be exposed to this kind of an education. That's what I
So
think.
the amazing point you're saying is for pregnancy and maternity, it is one, how to take care of your baby. Even that could be something that is added on, as well as how do you stay in touch with your subject and specialty. Dr. Vasudha, just like you to come in.
Dr. Samir, I just wanted to add here that somewhere in between, we lose the balance. So I think how to keep ourselves calm, how to, compromise and still not feel bad, how to do the balancing act. I think those kind of things are also very important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dr. Vasudha?
I just want to add one point. So I think the mentorship program really helps if you're paired. Like, when you have just delivered a baby, you have so many thoughts in your mind. Are you looking after the baby properly? Where the CMEs at Rashna ma'am can really help. It's completely different thought process when it's your baby, and you end up doing everything wrong in your mind. So that's one thing. So if you can just call up your senior mentor and say that, madam, this is a problem I'm facing, either career-wise or personally, it will go a long way in restoring some balance to the lady pediatrician or any working lady, I feel.
So a mentorship program for our colleagues during their pregnancy and maternity, I think that's a wonderful thing. Swati ma'am, we must take that up. But I'm going to come to you with a very specific question. Some of our lady colleagues are married not to doctors. In fact, they are married to bankers or like you, IAS officers who are always getting transferred. And you are in Pune, Mumbai, Delhi, Mumbai, Pune. How did you manage your career? Because one of our speakers said that when you come out in private practice after your MD, you establish your practice, get approved 2 years later after marriage, you go to a new place without it being your fault, you're seen as an outsider. You managed to bridge this. How did you do that?
Okay, let me put the first principle that you must have clarity of thought of what you want in life. So once you marry an IS officer, you have to then decide that is your career going to be as much as another doctor who's staying in one place and fully focused on a career. So once you have this, I decided that for me, marrying my husband, because we had a love marriage, he was 18 years old and I was 15 years old when we met. So for me, staying with him was far more important than going through my career. And I decided that wherever we go, I will establish myself again. It was a challenge, but it didn't matter. But I will not stay away from him. So wherever I went, I worked in 4 medical colleges. I worked in 5 corporate hospitals. I worked in USA and 5 cities in India. So wherever I went, Samir, it was a threat for other people. And naturally, I did not get the support I wanted, but I compromised. And I didn't call it compromise because then it gets a negative connotation. I went with the flow, I adjusted. So, whichever medical college I joined, whichever department I joined, whatever was the opening, whether it was neonatology, whether it was immunization, whether it was respiratory medicine, I took that and made a success out of it. And that's why sometimes I can be called master of none and jack of all trades. But now, last 20 years, I've become master of adolescence.
Adolescents.
And so,
Absolutely.
what I did was that wherever I went, I realized I'm a transit passenger. So I tried to compromise with everybody क्योंकि 2-3 साल ही रहना था फिर आगे निकलना था. But those 3 years, I decided to give my best in whatever profession I did. And every medical college atmosphere may be different, but pediatric patients are the same. So you enjoy looking after pediatrics, you enjoy looking after parents, you enjoy teaching, undergraduate, postgraduate, and whichever corporate hospital you go, I look at it as a challenge. Delhi patients are quite different from Bombay and Pune patients. Nagpur patients are quite different from Nasik. So instead of looking at it as a difficulty, I took it as a challenge. And that is why I think
Lovely.
I've learned so many different cultures, so many different socio-economic groups, and all this has enriched me. So I never looked at it कि क्या हो रहा है, मेरे को बार-बार छोड़ना पड़ रहा है. I used to say God has given me an opportunity to be in so many cities, in so many hospitals and so many medical colleges, and I'm an enriched person. So once you look at it that way, I didn't have any difficulty. And I wanted to be with my husband. That was my priority.
Correct. Absolutely well said. And Dr. Najma ma'am, I'm going to come to you. We are running out of time with a rapid fire section. I'm going to ask you 3 questions quickly and request you to answer quickly. So the first question is, you've been in public life to an extent, even doctors are in public life. So women often face intense scrutiny. How do you maintain resilience and integrity when under pressure?
You see, you mentioned my grandfather, Maulana Hazar. When I did my, I wanted to be a doctor, a medical doctor. So after my intermediate, because after that, those days, it used to be like 10 years school, 2 years, and then graduation. So I wrote to him, I want to be a doctor. But I was underage. I was 16 when I did my intermediate. So he wrote to me, doesn't matter. Study whatever you want to study, as much as you want. But if you remember, whatever education or knowledge you take, you must be an expert. So you are known for your expertise and not which family you belong to or who you are. Your identity should be your knowledge. So I want to tell everybody who are professional women and men too, that they should try to know themselves by their expertise. And that lady who was traveling with her husband, she did a lot of sacrifice by moving from place to place with him. But she also used that time gainfully by learning different culture, different situations, different hospital, working with different people. So I congratulate her for her accepting, preferring to be married to the one she wanted to marry and trying to make the best out of it, not just being grumpy or lamenting about it. So that is the way life has to be. The other thing is, and there are many situations which you are not comfortable with. I had many situations where I was not comfortable in the parliament. When I was presiding in the house, there are 35 political parties with different ideologies, different interests, different priorities. So I used to keep myself out of their issues. I acted like a referee in a football game, that I should see that the game is played honest and correct, but I'm not going to kick the ball in the goal for anybody. I will see that they play a good game. So that is one thing that one should learn in a career like me. And what was the other question?
So the other question is, you've been a parliamentarian for so many years, you've been a union minister, a governor. Do you think Siri, as a pediatrician, 29-year-old young mother pediatrician, what do you think are her chances of becoming another Najma Heptulla? Can she get into politics? Can she do something besides pediatrics? And what will you guide her?
If she wants, if there is a will, there is always a way. In my book, I have written, if you have read it, others can read it, that when I was 7 years old, I heard about United Nations, which was in New York. And my grandfather had given me a globe. So I looked at India and I looked at New York, and I thought it is directly opposite to each other. And my father had given me a small spade. So I said, I couldn't imagine how will I go to New York. So I said I might dig a tunnel so that I can go to New York to see UN. My grandfather asked me what I am doing. I said, I'm digging a tunnel. So he says, what are you going to do with the tunnel? I said, I want to go to New York, to UN. So he laughed. And I was upset. Why is he laughing? Then I said, why are you laughing? He says, no, it's okay. Go ahead with your work. Continue to dig your tunnel.
Kya baat hai?
I could never dig a tunnel. But because I had that desire, I used to come to New York every year, every session. I presided over the UN. I organized a conference of the speakers of the parliament at the UN. So my only advice to the young people is that have an aim in life, and God will help you if you are sincere about it. Nothing is impossible in this work. Live. What yesterday happened is past. You cannot bring it. Tomorrow, nobody knows what will happen. Today is the day when you are living. So live for today. Do as much as you can. Help as many people you can. And you will be a very successful, satisfied person. I'll tell you one small example. I was in the parliament for 36 years. One day I came out of my car and went into the lobby, and I saw a little child sitting on a we call it the tak, kind of a place in the wall. And his mother was doing some cleaning work. So I said, why you have kept the child over there? She said, ma'am, where can I leave him? So I just put him there. That made me to think that the parliament need a creche. There are women also working over there, and they need this support. So I built creches in parliament where there could be, the children could stay and they were taken care of. I know that you know as a doctor and all your friends know as a doctor, breastfeeding is the best for the growth of a child. Not only the milk of the child has got all the nutrients which a newborn baby needs, but it also helps the mother to pull her stomach muscles and everything in. So I always said that I breastfed my children, and I expect everyone to do. But I realized in the parliament, there were no place where women could breastfeed their children, even if I had created a creche. So I got a room especially for those women who were breastfeeding their children. So in my life, I have tried to work to facilitate the life of a working woman, because
Very
I
nice.
feel that she needs special care and consideration. So that is
Absolutely.
the most important thing to do.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much. I wonder how many of even our large hospitals, whether government hospitals, medical colleges, or corporate hospitals, even have thought about what Madam said, having a creche for the ladies working in the hospital. I think that's wonderful. I'm going to come to the closing now. I'm going to ask a common question to all the other experts. Madam has already given us pearls of wisdom. And Siri, if you want to become a member of parliament, start digging that tunnel today. So the question to all of you is, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice as a woman in medicine, what would it be? I'll repeat, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice as a woman in medicine, what would it be? Who would like to go first? Prameela, go ahead. Always. Yeah. And just one question. Prameela not only is a great mother and a great academician and a clinician, she's also representing India in the women's handball of at her age, the age bracket. So wonderful. Well done.
Don't tell my
So
age
what is
now.
your advice? Bolo,
Yeah.
what is your advice?
Okay. So my advice is like never shrink into the space you are in. You're a pediatrician, that space is there, but don't shrink yourself into that. Just bloom out. Just think,
Very
innovate,
nice.
do good, and be patient centric, little bit personal touch in that. Always evidence based and experience based, good practice, and respect your teachers. The blessings of your teachers, it'll really help
Very
you wherever you go. These are all from my personal. When you go through ups and downs, your parents, your teachers, they are your gurus, they are there. And trust in God. And this is for my younger generation. You can do whatever you want, because in my younger time, till 21 years, I was a national handball player. I couldn't play for India that time. So getting that Indian t-shirt was my dream. Due to my MBBS exams, I couldn't go for the Indian team match. But at 53, with the help of my family, I could rejoin the Masters Indian Handball. I just came back from Chinese Taipei, being an international handball player. So everything is
lovely.
possible in your profession as well as your personal life. There'll be some glitches here, there, but God will help you always. So young girls, be smart. Don't worry. Now take care of your kids. Siri, you take care of kid now 6 months out of your career. Nothing will happen to your career. I took a long break and came back, but now I'm in good position. But
Lovely.
always your kids are your first priority.
Lovely. So get on with it. Wonderful. Well said, Dr. Prameela. Who would like to go next? What advice would you give your younger self? Who would like to go next? Rashna, ma'am, please go ahead.
I think I would ask my younger self to be more mindful I think practicing mindfulness in our profession is very, very important. And if we practice mindfulness right from the time when we get our post-graduation degree, most of these problems that we think we have in life as a woman or as a woman pediatrician or a woman medical professional or any professional, I think that is going to be very, very easy to navigate. So mindful of what you want in life, what is your priority, and be mindful that some of the things you can have to let go. Once you let go, they, as Prameela ma'am said, it comes back later in life with more bonus. So I think mindfulness is very important, and also taking care of your physical health. Because if you're not physically well, then all the rest of the things, they take a back seat. Thank you.
So mindfulness is the M part of the smart pediatrician, and you said that very well. Second, take care of your own fitness and health. Wonderful, well said. Who would like to go next? We have Siri and Vasudha, and then we'll close with Dr. Swati ma'am. Siri, advice to your younger self?
The younger self. So I think it is very necessary to do what is important to us. And eventually, people who love us and who are important to us will mold themselves to the situation, including our kids.
Lovely. Well said. Lovely. Dr. Vasudha, and then we'll come to Dr. Swati Bhave ma'am, and then we'll open the house. But of course, Dr. Swati ma'am has to leave, and Najma ma'am also, we've kept her for more than an hour, a member of parliament and such a great lady. So thank you. But quickly, Dr. Vasudha, what would be the advice you'd give, one piece of advice to a women in medicine, your younger self?
So you don't have to be a superwoman. I think one of our esteemed panelists said it, that makes so much sense. Few days you're not going to have anything together, and few days everything is going to work out for you. So I think we all need to realize that, and that it's an act of balance at the end. So yeah, that's one piece of advice I'd like to give my younger self.
Lovely. So nothing is going to be a flat curve. It's always going to be a sinus curve. What goes up will come down. What's down will go up. And then finally, we come to Dr. Swati ma'am for your, not just your younger advice to a younger self, but also a kind of a roundup today. And also, I'd like you on our behalf of IAP to thank Najma ma'am before we close.
Sure. So whatever I have undergone, I had an autoimmune disorder from the age of 14 years, and I've been struggling for the last 56 years. And I've just released a book on my journey of life. It is in Marathi, and those who want to read it, please contact me. I've explained all my struggles and all what I've done with a lot of advice. But one thing I would like to say, as a woman, I never felt that I wanted to be a man. Nor do I want to be a man in my next life if there's a reincarnation, because being a mother is a pleasure. Being a mother is something which a man can never be. And whenever I do my college counseling, I always tell them, don't take motherhood as a burden. And don't keep competing that the father and mother will equally look after the child. Take it as a privilege. A man can't breastfeed. The pleasure of breastfeeding your baby, the pleasure of the baby saying mama and hugging you, no career will ever bring that. So have your baby, and once you're a mother, life is full in there, because if you delay your biological clock, then you have to go through IVF. I'm nothing against IVF, but the women who have undergone IVF, it's not an easy task. So have a baby when your biological clock is ticking in the right portion. Become a mother, whether you have a 1 or 2 child, that is upon you. And that is something which will totally change your personality. Once you become a mother, you understand sacrifice, you understand resilience, you understand what it means to be something for somebody. For a child, a mother is his whole life. And that precious look which the child gives you, I think that fulfills everything. And whoever's been a mother knows that. So don't let motherhood go. It is a joy given by God to you, and enjoy your motherhood. Career will come, everything else will come, life success will come, but enjoy being a mother, and don't grudge. Men ko kitna aasan hai, man is going ahead of me. Don't compete with men in that sense. Be your own woman. Enjoy your motherhood, enjoy your career, and do the best you can, and find happiness in whatever you can succeed. Have your own graph. Don't compare with other women, and don't compare with men at all. Just be your own self.
Thank you so much, madam. There's a wonderful comment. I mean, all wonderful comments, but I'm going to read one by Dr. TP. She says, presently on my maternity leave, this talk has been very motivating. The FOMO, fear of missing out, can be managed. I think she's laughing Right now, kids are important. What a wonderful comment. It makes us feel worthwhile whatever we did to bring this program for you. And so, Swati, on behalf of IAP, we have such a distinguished guest. So, as on behalf of all the 50,000 pediatricians, would request you to thank Dr. Najma Heptulla. Swati, ma'am,
Yes.
just a few words from you to
Ma'am
thank her.
Najma, I've always read a lot about you. I've always respected you. And I really hands off to you managing the parliamentarians and seeing the parliamentarians now. It is televised. We didn't know it before. Now we can see on TV. And ma'am, hats off. You managed to be a speaker and manage this so beautifully over the years. That just shows the respect you had and how people listened to you and you could keep them under control. And it was really wonderful hearing what all you did. And it was a pleasure and honor, ma'am, to be a panelist with you. And thank you so much on behalf of IAP, because we pediatricians, lady pediatricians, require an inspiring woman like you, that where a woman can reach, where there's a will and there's a way. So, ma'am, naman to you, and we really enjoyed having you.
I'm very happy to be part of this discussion. My daughter is also a pediatrician and she's practicing in New York, running 2 centers. And I know how difficult the life was. And I understand one should be one's own self, not to compare yourself to a man. I'm proud that I'm a woman. I have the privilege to bring the next generation in life, and I am happy whatever God has given to me. Life could have been more difficult, perhaps, but whatever comes, face it. Yesterday is gone, tomorrow is not seen. Live for today, do your best, help people. As a doctor, you are doing a great service to humanity. Hats off to you. I wish I was a doctor also. I am a doctor, but not the medical doctor.
Ma'am, you have given a wonderful pediatrician, so you are a mother of a pediatrician.
Yes.
And we respect you for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
So
Thank
kind
you.
of you. Madam is in Chicago and she managed to manage her time and to be part of this. So grateful to you. If all of you give me an opportunity to have another program like this, trust me, we can have 3 hours on the stories Najma ma'am has to talk about Parliament. It will be a bit censored, I'm sure, but you should have. I mean, I have the privilege to listen to her stories of Parliament that she will tell you.
That will be really wonderful, ma'am.
Yes.
Enjoy listening to you.
Please read my book.
Yeah,
I'll definitely read your book.
definitely will read.
Definitely.
Thank you so
Let
much.
me know how you feel about
Sure,
it.
ma'am. Sure.
Thank you. So I'm going to be very grateful and thanks Najma ma'am, of course, and our own dear Dr. Swati Bhave ma'am, without whom this program would not have been
Yes,
possible. She has so many things lined up this whole week and she kept saying that she would leave at 9:30, but I know wo dil atka hua hai with all of us here, and I knew she would not leave before that. So ma'am, thanks a lot. Dr. Prameela, you are always busy with critical care and emergency medicine, but you spent so much time with us. My dear Vasudha was here again, managing her practice, and there she is in the car with her 2 little tiny tots. So, Vasudha, thanks. Vasudha was the one who really helped me compile this program together. And of course, Dr. Rashna Das, she was just busy in traffic, managed to make it. But your calm, smiling presence, as always, is very charming and useful. And finally, our dear Siri, who's there with a little small baby, and she really managed to make the show great. So, quickly, anybody has any other comments? We'd like to take them. And of course, the whole idea is that IAP should do something for our colleagues. Yes.
I want to specially thank Najma Madam because as a child, we grew up looking up to her. And her presence was so powerful, in the parliament, whenever she used to come, whenever we had television in 80s, we used to see her. And it was inspiring to see a woman up there doing so much among all the men. So I feel she was the odd man out in the entire group of men. And Samir, sometimes when you go for rounds, I'm sure it's with everyone, instead of being addressed as ma'am, they always call us sir. So,
Yeah.
so we are again becoming the odd man out, but it's always and I agree with Swati ma'am, always a woman, because we have so much, opportunities given by the Almighty to us. So Najma ma'am, thank you so much. I never imagined in my life that I would share a platform with you. Thank you very much, Samir, for giving the opportunity. And thank you, ma'am. And to all
Thank
others.
you.
I'll tell you a joke. Can I tell you a joke?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
You know, Ashok Sen was a minister for law, a very, very eminent lawyer. So he was talking in the house and he was calling me sir. So I pointed out, Mr. Ashok Sen, I'm a woman, I'm a lady. So he said, madam, in the other house, I forget and call the speaker, my lord. Then I told, I hope, Mr. Sen, you are not going to call me lady. And everybody started laughing and the atmosphere was better. One thing which has helped my life, when Rajiv Gandhi asked me, when he was asking me to be deputy chairman, he said, how will you run the house? I said, sir, I'm educated and everybody respects me for my education because I got my PhD when I was only 22. I topped the university, etc. And there are other qualifications. But if nothing works, my sense of humor will work. And I honestly tell you, in all the most difficult situations, my sense of humor came for my help. There was one MP. He was wearing very thick glasses, like concave. And he was objecting on the will which Mrs. Indira Gandhi has made to donate her eyes after her death. So I thought if he continues, there's going to be a lot of trouble in the house. So I told him, I'm sorry, honorable member, when you are making a will to donate your eyes, please include your spectacle so that the one who gets your eyes will not have to spend money to buy a new glasses. Then the whole tension was out. Everybody started laughing, including him. So always sense of humor makes the life easy.
Samir, can I make one comment?
Like, yes.
Samir,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
give a lot of lectures to college girls, and I want to re-emphasize that though I talk so much about motherhood and marriage, I also say that if a particular woman does not want to get married and does not want to have children, world or people should not make her feel guilty about it. Because it is not necessary that every woman wants to have children or wants to have marriage, and the societal pressure should not come on her. But if she's going to get married, then I say enjoy motherhood, enjoy being a wife and mother. But at the same time, let us not make any young women guilty if they feel that I want to focus on my career and I can't cope up with marriage and children and I want to remain single and have my career. We should allow women to have that choice too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Amol, are you there?
Yes.
Amol? Okay. Anybody else would like to have a word? Please go ahead.
Dr. Samir, can I speak?
Yes, Norina ma'am, please go ahead.
First and foremost, thanks for inviting us on this Zoom channel. And I'm a great fan. My full family is a great fan of Madam Najma Heptulla, including my son, who would never miss any of the meeting that she would schedule. And he's in a great awe of you, ma'am. He's just 30 years old, but when he was young, he loved to listen to you and to all the speakers, and he had his own mind. And of course, he's in the US right now, just like your daughter. And I must say, I have heard all of you such intelligent people, and I'm a humble educator. Doctor knows me. And I've been a principal of a very elite school in Mumbai for the last 19 years, and thereafter started another school. And today I'm a trainer for principals and teachers. And all what you said made so much of sense because our teachers go through a lot of pressure. And I would request Samir sir to have such more sessions, invite some of our teachers also. I didn't share the link because I didn't have his permission for it. But somebody said, Dr. Hazarika said, and I quote you differently, motherhood catalyzes empathy. And I also mentioned, and if some of you can read today's Economic Times, it says, the article says on the cover page, no more. And I won't read it because it's too long, but it tells you in a simple way, I'm not going to live an average life as a mother, as a professional, or maybe as an individual. I'm going to be above average. Please, if you get an opportunity to read it, please do read it. And thank you, everybody, for this wonderful night and intellectual gathering.
Thank you so much. I think we've had a fabulous discussion. And the best thing is the feeling of warmth, the feeling of strength, the feeling of oneness that all of us have developed today. If there are anybody else has to say something, otherwise I'll hand it back to Dr. Sanjay Pakmode to close the session. With again, my gratitude to all our wonderful experts and speakers for having come on this platform of Smart Pediatrician. Thank you so much.
Looking forward for you doing wonderful programs for the women pediatricians. So please continue doing such programs.
It's my word to you. Thank you so much.
I was saying, ma'am. Sir was
2 weeks later, Sanjay Vaikas, 2 minutes later, 2 weeks later, we are going to come with the next episode of Smart Pediatrician on how we use artificial intelligence, AI, in pediatric practice. Dr. Sanjay, over to you.
I was really I appreciate Samir sir, because this particular idea about the women's, his own concept, and he was talking from the beginning. He was rather starting this program with this particular program, first episode with this program, but he wanted that panelists like you and presence of Madam Najma. So we postponed on the we decided to on today only. Otherwise, this would have been the first program. And I always appreciate he was telling whenever in the gathering, I really believe how they manage this all this family life, social life, their professional life, and then absenteeism for a few months and then rejoining, and then but I was wondering how he was thinking on that particular line. So hats up to you, sir. So thinking such a wonderful thing for all the females. And I hope all from these stalwarts, all the attendees, especially the female doctors, the lady pediatricians, they might be thinking everybody said they are nowhere less than. So I think rather we salute all of you because you are doing the amazing job, because you are keeping the family together. And with this, I think they are such a people who feel their life is a very complete one. Managing family, managing home, managing professional life, and still doing research with Madam like Swati doing a lot of research, social work and everything. So I think they must be feeling very complete in every aspect. So thank you once again for joining and coming on the MAHA IAP platform.
And we are grateful to all the men in our life. The word woman contains a man. And so we are always grateful. We are very happy being a woman, and we are very happy having supportive men around us in our life.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. And it's been a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Dr.
ma'am.
Samir
Good night. Good night.
and the whole of the team and panelists. Thank you so much. Wonderful session.
Dr. Samir, best, great, insightful lecture from Punjab. I'm Dr. Gurdeep.
I can't. I can see you now. Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Gurdeep bhai. Dr.
Wonderful
Bharti ma'am.
session.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful
Thank you,
session.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. Good night.
Good night. Bye.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you,
Good night,
ma'am.
madam. Good
We'll
night.
definitely read your book, ma'am.
Thank you, madam.
Back to you.